Welcome back to Pigskin Holiday, everybody. Ed, CT, Mario. This segment brought to you by Big Debbie, the head woman can cook. Anyways, on to my favorite part of the show, which my holy shit moment of the week once again is Mr. Rex Grossman for the Skins. Coming up big, 25 for 43, 291, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Once again, CT, I mean, the question is, it's still there. Is this guy for real? I think that he is.
It's looking that way.
And Ed, one thing, and we're going to cover this later of our, games of the next week, ones that we're, looking forward to. The Skins meet Dallas next week.
Dude, that's going to be a good one because the Skins are always up for the Cowboys and vice versa. So it's going to be
this is an old school rivalry.
It's going to be a good test. I think it's a good chance that if we come into that game right and the Cowboys do well, we can even our records at the same.
Yeah.
2-1 or whatever.
Yeah. I think that this is going to be, honestly, the first true test for Rex Grossman coming into Dallas next week.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, you come in with a defense that's known for being pretty stingy. You have DeMarcus Ware, who's a freaking animal.
He's a beast,
animal. And then, and Terrence Newman, who's still, he's getting up there in age, but he's still good, and he's still solid, and he still plays his position very well.
Doesn't everyone get up there in age? You get a year older every year.
So every year. Every year I'm a year older.
But as far as Grossman goes, he's quieter than Sanchez, but more productive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He just kind of consistently manages the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you're playing not to lose because you are playing to win, but he's sort of in between.
Yeah.
Just being consistent.
I agree.
I honestly think from seeing some of the replays and seeing the way he's managing the game, especially the way that he's managing the game, this is the good-looking Rex Grossman that we saw in the Super Bowl year for the Bears just a few years back. This is the Rex Grossman that everybody was like, when he's hot, he's on. When he's bad, he's terrible. But he's yet to be bad. We're 2 games into the season, but
well, you got a good coach in Shanahan.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who their OC is, but obviously it's a better system for Grossman.
Yeah.
And the Redskins have the largest capacity stadium in the NFL, I believe.
Yeah, 90-something thousand.
And Dan Snyder doesn't take anything. He's kind of he's like Al Davis, but not as old and stupid.
You're right. Yeah.
So,
good comparison.
Yeah.
They have high expectations there in Washington.
He was a beast last season. He was an animal last season, but very underrated last season because the Skins weren't winning. It was more overshadowed by the declining of Donovan McNabb's career as opposed to the rising of Ryan Ratcliffe.
That was a big distraction.
Yeah,
but even right now they're 2-0. They're a quiet 2-0.
They are.
Yeah, I agree. This game that they just had was exceptionally close, and like I said moments ago, it was really the kind of football game you like to watch.
Oh yeah.
No matter who you're rooting for, that's a game that you just like to see.
Yeah, and especially with being high profile as the whole Kevin Cole move to Arizona, and then Larry Fitzgerald having his contract, his new contract and everything like that. So far, Fitz is actually, he's performing and he's showing us the Fitz of old. 133 yards, 1 touchdown, but it just wasn't enough. I believe in Arizona. I believe that they're a team of the future, like we were talking about during the break.
This year.
Not this year. This is not their year. But the Skins, I think that they're a team that, at this point, I would say this is a wild card team. This isn't.
I was going to say
this isn't a division-taking team.
You're seeing some teams right now that are 2-0 that won't make the playoffs, or if they do, they'll exit.
Yes.
It's a growing pain. You gotta experience it. You cannot win playoff games without experiencing the playoff game.
Now,
rarely can you do it.
Now, my biggest question is, especially for UCT, what does Grossman need to do in Dallas, or in this game against Dallas, to really just kind of prove himself? I think this is a game that is, this is pretty much on his shoulders at this point.
I would get Jerry Jones drunk.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
But he really just needs to do what he's been doing. Don't change anything. Don't fix what's not broke. He's doing good, doing what he's doing. He's keeping the numbers up, keeping people active.
Fairly consistent.
Very consistent, I would say. And he just needs to keep doing what he's doing. Don't make many changes. He's got plenty of time in the season to really fix any holes that there are. But right now, I'm not seeing many.
Yeah.
So he just needs to do what he's been doing this time around, and then that'll be an eye-opener because this is a stiff defense.
There you have it from the words of CT over
He
here.
says, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they'll be a challenge for anybody that comes in there.
Yep. Yep. And that was my holy shit moment, but we have these boys, men, I should say, their holy shit moments. Now,
Holy shit.
holy shit. What you got for me, Ed?
I got Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Buffalo Bills. I was surprised when the KC and they blew them out, and I thought, okay, that's kind of a fluke. Not so much. I mean, look at yesterday's game. 38-35 final score. Another fourth quarter football game like Jen and I were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
By the way, thanks to Jen for all her hard work behind the camera. She's working hard for us. That's why she has 2 Pink Rock stars today. No holdout for her.
No.
Anyway, dude, it was a good game to watch. Really, Campbell did good. Campbell, yeah,
23 for 33.
323 and 2 touchdowns. It's not bad. 131 yards rushing
Yeah.
for Oakland, and not a bad game. The teams traded the lead 5 times in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
The Bills scored 5 touchdowns on 5 second-half possessions, and they were down 21-3 at the half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched the last drive, and he moved that ball down there methodically. They didn't do anything big.
Yep.
They moved the chains down the field. They had to convert a big third down, or was it a fourth down? Jen, do you remember? Big fourth down, convert, keep the drive alive, and they did it. And it was just quick passes, 3-step drops, move the chains, and that's what Buffalo did. And Fitz did a great job.
I agree. I'm thinking that that's going to be their key to victory, is these quick, short passes that aren't, like you said, big plays, but they keep it going. And that's another way that they can win it, is they can control the clock a lot better that way. They
That's
keep
what football
possession
is.
more.
It's X's and O's, moving the chains.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, and one thing with Fitz that I like the most is, especially in that last game, you know, in that last drive that you were talking about. I mean, that's suiting up, putting your big boy pants on, like we've been talking about the entire show, and getting, you know, doing work. And the guy goes out there and he shows this poise of a veteran quarterback, controlling the clock, controlling his team, managing his team, and managing the defense so well that, I mean, honestly, I think that if he does something like that against New England next week, that's something that New England has to look out for.
I have a point to make there. I'm glad you brought that up. New England. My biggest thought during the first half of the New England game against San Diego was, New England, as powerful as they are, they're still beatable. They looked human in the first half.
They did.
I mean, again, at halftime, these coaches go in the locker room and they change their X's and O's around and make some adjustments. But in the first half, they look beatable. So they are beatable if you can outcoach them, because their coach, Belichick, he's one of the best
Absolutely.
as the head coach. But I mean, the Bills have a balanced offense. The rushing game, they had Jackson had 117 yards, Spiller 63, Fitzgerald on himself 23 yards rushing, Smith 14, not much there, but they, between that and the passing game, they moved the ball on both sides, rushing, passing, but I think the best thing that I thought that I seen, and I know I cut you off and back to you.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Was the fact that he was calm he had poise, calm under pressure, and he wasn't rattled.
Well, I think that the big difference maker in this game coming up for him is not necessarily how well he's going to handle the defense. It's how their defense is going to handle the Patriots' offense. How the hell do you stop that?
Right.
Honestly,
Right. Yeah.
really, how do you stop that at this point? I mean, they are just monsters. No matter what you do, they adjust
I know.
that quick.
They do, but I know how to do it. It's off the line. That's how they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, off the line. The receivers on the line, bump and run, get them off their pattern right away.
Well,
Because they're going to do a lot of quick passes. Otherwise, just down the field, it's up to your DB to make the play.
Right.
they're running a different strat than they have before. They're not going to Moss way down the field.
Right, yeah.
They're not going to Welker as often way down the field. They're hitting the tight ends more, and those are the big guys.
I think that's the big difference with New England as a tight end.
Yeah.
We said
Gronkowski is just a monster. I think he's going to be the top tight end in the league this year. I'm just tossing that out there. I really do.
Don't forget about my boy Witten.
Witten's great. He's very consistent. Always produces, but the chemistry going on between Brady and Gronkowski right now is just phenomenal. I mean, he's just tearing it up. And, I mean, whenever you have such a great quarterback targeting you all the time, you're going to put up numbers that are just going to escalate beyond what you would ever think for a tight end. I mean, he's already way up there. And this is only his second year, and he's already tied for first on tight ends right now. So
a good tight end is hard to beat in this league.
Oh, yeah.
But one more point on the Buffalo-Oakland game. You know, Jason Campbell threw to 6 different wide receivers. I like seeing that.
Yeah.
I like seeing spread
the ball around, yeah.
But McFadden, dual threat, 143 total yards, a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and then they had more with 5 catches for 146 yards and a touch. I mean, you know, and they lost.
Yeah.
But they scored 35 points. So Oakland, again, it's a good loss. You know, you lost on the last drive. Your defense didn't hold up to Fitzpatrick and his heroics.
Right.
Right.
I mean, you love to see those kind of games, you know? I mean, you get done, by the time you get done watching the game, you're like, oh, man, that was a good game. And
You're wore out.
Jen is not even a big football fan. This is her first year really watching football, and she's getting into it a little bit, aside from the Packers and the Bucks.
Right.
But even she was like, man, that was a good, you know, we see a good catch, a good play, we appreciate it. And that's what NFL is all about.
Yep.
You want to entertain the fans on the field with not just scoring, but good plays in the process.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's been going on. There's a lot of fourth quarter football this past week in the second week.
Now, we've heard from our holy shit moments of the week. What is your CT?
Well, it's kind of a combo
You
of
better
two.
give this to me. You better give it to me.
It's a combo of two different things. It's Cam Newton and Tom Brady.
Okay.
These numbers, especially with Newton, I'm going to hit him first. How in the hell do you have almost 900 yards passing, first year in NFL, and still be 0-2?
Right.
Why is this happening?
854 yards passed.
Yeah, this is
And
crazy.
he's had how many rushing touchdowns? Like 2 or 3?
I think he's had 2. He's had one in each game. One in each game.
He is just a monster. If they would get him some running support now, get their game in line to where they're not just relying on that pass, he is going to blow it up.
Here's my question. Is Newton in the wrong place? Can he flourish in Carolina? Is this a good place for him?
Not at this point, unless they can make some drastic improvements, go back a couple years as far as their running game goes. No, he's in the wrong spot.
Game.
Well, when you look at it, I mean, where would Cam Newton be at this point without Steve Smith?
Nowhere.
That's 200 yards you knock off each game.
He would run more and have more rushing yards.
Right.
He is their rushing.
Or he would run more and end up hurting himself because he's trying to do too much.
Or fumble more.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like Vic and Romo.
And and like you were saying, one thing that this was up until last year, whenever they were pretty much just abysmal.
Yep.
This was a running team.
Oh yeah.
You know, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, going back and forth. You know, I mean, it was just such
a dual threat you could not deal with.
Exactly. It didn't matter how bad their team was. Their offensive line was so stacked, and those two guys were just such animals at the time.
Yep.
But now, you know, you're relying on this rookie quarterback to be able to basically do it all.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's the save all.
Exactly.
I think Carolina right now is exciting to watch, and you know, Cam Newton's fun to watch. But I think that overall, it's not a winning formula.
No.
Not this year.
Well, it's not, and it's proof in the numbers.
The thing is, I mean, what do you do? Like, if they have a winning season right now, they're 0-2, but they're a very good 0-2. But if they win this season and they win 6-7 games, they're gonna get like the 5th, 6th round draft pick. You need a running back.
Absolutely, they need a top.
No matter where you running back, you've got to get a running back.
They've got to do something.
You know, you want to go high, you get Trent Richardson coming out of Alabama. Boom, roll tide.
You can't go wrong with a Bama running.
150 of these yards.
Who's
and
better?
he stays
Sam Bradford or Cam Newton?
at this point.
Well,
I mean,
that's a situational thing.
yeah.
Bradford delivered wins, and that's more important in the long scheme of things. You can rack up numbers like this, 400 some odd yards a game, but if you're still not winning, it doesn't matter.
But it's not his fault. They have no running game.
No, it isn't his
So,
fault,
as a
but at the
quarterback-
same time, that's where he is. They're not getting rid of him anytime soon, so he's stuck with that for a while.
And then again, where was the whole running back situation in the second round whenever they had the first overall pick in the second round? What did they do with that?